How's it going, everybody? It's me, Shane. I'm here to give you another Bleach 1,000 Year Blood War Season 2 episode review. Today's episode is episode 16, The Fundamental Virulence. Before I go any further, please hit that like button, subscribe, and hit that notification bell to be notified of more videos just like this one. Oh boy. Remember last week with our episode ending off with a shock glimmer of hope? Complete juxtaposition, but this episode was good, really good. Just we're picking back up where we left off, and Urahara's explaining how he figured out the way of stopping them from taking Bankai while also getting it back. And so for this review, I'm gonna break down. I guess I'll go in order of things that have happened. I really don't want to do it in a what's what I'm looking for, play by play. So we'll just talk about the important stuff, right? But let's talk about that word virulence. Virulence, if you remember what I told you last week, means severity or harmfulness of a disease or poison. And the second definition is bitter hostility and rancor. The virulence, the fundamental virulence, is how the Quincy treat or are hostile towards hollows. And you probably think, oh, well, you know, they're against them because they're monsters or whatever, right? And initially, they thought it was resentment. And funny enough, Mayuri, he was wondering, you know, where does that come from? I think he said he wonders where that comes from. It's either, was it him or Urahara? I feel like it was Mayuri who wondered where it came from. But Urahara explained that why did the Quincy not take the resurrection of the Ankrars? The Ankrars' resurrection, their souls, their power, their essence, their personality is transformed into a blade, and then they can break it free, which is very much like a Bankai, right? Well, how come they didn't take it? Because it's not like they couldn't take it, because he saw Quilge Ope take the power of a giant hollow, but he couldn't control it. And it turns out that the hollows, the Ankarars, are the antithesis of the Quincy's. Their essence, them encroaching into whatever area is actually poisonous to the Quincy's, and slowly eats away at their spiritual pressure, and it slowly kills them. And so their hostility towards them is nothing like resentment, because as Mayuri once said, or so brilliantly said, resentment comes from a clashing of ideologies. And when it comes to Quincy's, there's not a lot of will on their own. They're very much, you know, whoever's at the top controls everything. We've seen that with Hueco Mundo arc. We see that now when several Quincy's were under the control of, several hollows were under the control of the Quincy's. Go down here. Keep going down here. And the theory is not even just the theory, because, well, it was a theory, because there's two reasons why they didn't take their powers. Either A, they couldn't, or B, they're at a disadvantage, and it's the disadvantage. So Urahara makes these pills. They look like little tablets. Wait, if I could find the name. They're called the Shinyaku. And basically, they're a small essence of hollow power and hollowification. Where the Quincy's don't have a root to hollowifications, the Soul Reapers do. And so as they use the special fully lit room, research room of Mayuri, because like he said, the R&D has been crippled except for his room, right? And we get some funny moments where, like, he hangs up on Urahara because Urahara put a little communication device on him, even though Urahara used like this precipice space that he has. We get funny things where, like, a science person calls Urahara brilliant, but it's like you can't say that in front of the boss. Small little funny stuff there with them, but this holification thing should poison them and get the power back. And we see that. We see with Hetsugaya, who got totally rocked by Baz B towards the end of their battle. He's about to be killed by the guy who took his power. And that guy's whole thing is, he also almost killed Matsumoto. I'm surprised she isn't dead because her eyes open, she's not moving, but I guess she's not dead. And his whole thing is, you live together, you should die together. And he says this whole little speech about how it's a shame that this Bankai of yours, I know it's Hiromaru. I can't remember the first name. I think it's Dai. Where is it? Dai something. I'm not gonna waste your time. But too bad. Something that he's had the whole time. He's gonna continue living on without him. But Urahara, after they're able to use the baby face bugs that they have, obviously Mayuri thing, they go all around because again they're in not Seirete, they're in the upside down version of Seirete, infiltrate all their devices, they get connected, they find everybody, sends out all the tablets, communicates with them and tells them what's it's for and how does it work. And first instance we see dude that's trying to use Hetsugaya's Bankai, the ice breaks, kind of bleeds a little bit. Hetsugaya gets it, and because it's a temporary holification of their powers, he gets like an ice mask, and his voice is distorted. It's so cool. You would think the battle was in his favor because once he fully gets his power back and uses his ability to make a giant frozen cross, couldn't make a pentagram yet. Looks like he passed out, I think, after that. I'll get to that in a second. So we have that. We see the one girl that wants to fight Kodomaru, wolf dog captain, kills men when she's horny. I didn't think he had his power stolen, but their little medallions don't work anymore. It's giving back the Spirit Reapers, Soul Reapers, their energy. Even someone like Soifong, her giant lieutenant, picks her up as the robot man was about to analyze her. She gets the tablet. It's funny, but it's a touch of characterization that she's like, yeah, of course I heard that unpleasant voice. Remember, she doesn't like Kisuke Urahara because he stole Yorichi from her, took her away to go with him, even though it was her decision. And you're trying to tell me that's just admiration. That's a little bit more than admiration, but we won't go there. She gets her giant missile that just blows up in the robot man's face. I swear his name is B69. Blows up in his face as he looks like his stuff is rocked. The other guy's frozen. And now that they don't have to worry about it, we do get to see people. We get to see Shinji's Bankai. And his Bankai, I'm just going to say the name because we haven't heard the name before. And it's a bit of a mouthful. It is called... Nope, that's the giant missile. Oh, Romy Park, who plays Hetsugaya, really great job. Really great voice job. Acting was great in that. Where's Shinji? Shinji's power is called Shakashima Yokoshima Happo Fusagari. Basically, distorts everything, and you don't know, and it changes friend to enemy, enemy to friend. And he does this as, I call them stormtroopers because we know the Quincy's are allegory for the Nazis, right? German super bad guys wearing Hugo Boss clothes. We know they're Nazis, right? And so they're standing on the bodies, and he's like, while I am very pissed that you killed my comrades, I'm kind of glad they're not here because his ability doesn't discriminate. And as they're all surrounding him with their energy bows, they kill each other. and he just distorts everything. As a matter of fact, when her power explodes, I call it Explosion Girl, the crazy horny girl, right? When she's rampaging, getting pissed because her team abandoned, they left without saying anything. She was talking to herself. Her explosion of her abilities and throwing stuff and it explodes, it's hurting other Soul Reapers. Where a newly covered up Konamaru appears to give them time to run, and then Shinji appears so Komamaru can go and he wants to fight your watch. He wants revenge for Captain Commander. And so Shinji's going to take care of it. This part was so cool because Shinji says, well, you're caught in this. I had to learn how to speak backwards when using this thing. And I'm like, okay, so technically he's speaking backwards, but we actually hear him talk backwards and the subtitles are properly backwards. Saying he was sorry for the late introduction. He's Shinji Hirako, captain of the 5th Squad. That was cool. That was awesome. Wrestler guy is going to fight our boys, the not lieutenants. The tablets were sent out to everybody that has a Bankai, right? So Ikaku, there's Kuja. I'm pretty sure Kuja has a Bankai. And then there's the guy who is, I call him Tosin Simp, because he's the same guy that goes, hey, don't talk bad about the captain. Oh, you mean the guy that betrayed you? The only person who Aizen's power wouldn't work against because he can't see it? That traitor? Yeah, you still hung up on that. Just, it's like a bad ex that he just can't shake. They have to fight the wrestler guy, the wrestler Stern Ritter. By the guy that stole has a guy's power. He's a Stern Ritter Eye, the Iron. Wrestling guy, we don't have his proper name, I don't think. We've probably seen it before. I don't care enough to research that. But he has his own bellman. That guy that rings the bell for wrestling. Unbelievable. Funny, but unbelievable. And the three of them are trying to work together. They're trying not to use their powers too, which is kind of foolish, but okay. It does look like with some chain work and Ikaku going in for the stab with his spear, they won't get him. They won't get him because of what happens at the end. But I'm trying to think, contention for line of the episode. It's kind of a toss up between Shinji's line I told you, and it's a guy who goes. It's a guy who says, "Yeah, Hunimaru missed me," and the guy, the Iron, he's like, "Yeah, these things you speak as if they have a personality." He's like, "You don't believe that," and it's a guy that openly says to his blade that he missed him. He missed hearing his voice, and we hear the blade. I love when we hear the blades talk back, and the visage of, his Zanpakuto soul is a giant ice dragon. I love it. It's great. Another, and just showing that power truly wasn't theirs, and they didn't know what they were doing with it. Make sure I don't miss any parts. And my goodness, I don't even know. So, full disclosure, I'm going to get very real right now. Out of the three main characters of the big three, Naruto, Bleach, and One Piece, the one character that has been described as a Mirisu is Ichigo. Because, well, throughout the series, especially in the manga, this stuff is running behind him, especially in the manga, he just magically, poop, I'm here, I have my power, I'm stronger than this person. Now, these things are acceptable because of anime and manga logic, right? It was cool in the Infiltrate Soul Society arc. That made sense, right? But then we get into Hueco Mundo when it comes to his hollow powers, right? And then we get to the full bring stuff. That's where I'm like, all right, stop. And then turns out, oh, your mom was actually a Quincy. You're half Quincy, bro. The Quincy's are Mary Sue's. And this is probably where Ichigo gets it from. Why do I say Mary Sue's? Because magically, they're using the power that we forgot they could do. Because remember Quilge, he used the Sternvitter D. What's it called? Quincy Vol Sterndeek, where they get the wings and the halo. So magically, when horny explosion girl does her move, it stops all the distortion that Shinji had. Which I'm just like, okay, so the transformation outdoes it. I guess that makes sense. And like the transformation made the one dude that was frozen, he's up now. And I'm gonna assume that robot dude with his face blasting off, he's gonna stand up now. Because there are 6 different Quincy crosses that appeared when this ability happened. So I'm guessing those are the Stern Vitters who are awakening their abilities. And that was my big gripe. I'm saying, okay, yeah, we knew you had this, but seriously, the 1 or 2 people that actually got, defeated, they're not really defeated because of this. That actually bugged me a bit. I forgot. I'll say another line in a minute, but also the part that bugs me about this is that the girl goes, yeah, having the Bankai helped me back from being able to do this. And you got your watch going, yes, they think they won because they got their abilities back. But now you can use the blessing bestowed upon you. Oh my goodness gracious. So you had a plan where you all stole their abilities, but it hindered you. So you're saying that, you're so badass you don't have to use your powers, right? But you were scared enough of them to develop this technique to steal their powers. I'm going in a circle. If this show didn't look really good, and if the voice acting wasn't great, boy, I would have been throwing popcorn at the screen. It didn't, but I digress. Shinji's other cool line was talking about he usually doesn't like killing girls, but I hope you excuse me. Everyone needs a cool, cold ass line, man. And for me, I don't know. I get it's the ebb and flow, right? Something good is gonna happen. Oh no, something bad happens. They got their Bankais back and they can stop them from stealing it. Oh no, they actually have other powers. And just me knowing some of the characters' fates, it's kind of like, okay, I get how we got there, but I'm glad that I didn't try to reread this arc before the anime dropped, because I get to experience this fresh again. I wonder if younger me was upset when he read that part 2 of, oh, really? You just have another trick up your sleeve? Where's Tristan? Man, Shinji's Shikai and Bankai is really, really cool. Yeah, a little golden lotus thing. Yeah, no. Then that's pretty much it for the episode, right? Aside from your wife's talking trash. Now, after the ending, once again, we have Ichigo walking down that special spirit tunnel, going so close yet so far. His feet look worn, and he's holding on to that wooden blade as best as he can, but he's getting flashes, memories of things that have happened. Some being in blue, with his limbs being pulled off, encased in a jewel. I'm gonna spoil that for you right now. It's the Soul King. You've seen what the Soul King looks like. But what I won't spoil is when Ichigo takes a step again and sees these flashes, he has 5 pupils in his eye. 2 up top, 2 on the bottom. Obviously his original pupil in the middle. So yeah, Does Ichigo get a Sharingan? No. I'll spoil that. No, it's not a Sharingan, but quite interesting all around. I know what that is, and I don't remember him getting that. I like that. And now the haiku. Before I forget the haiku, I will continue to fight myself as long as I have fangs in my heart. I'm going to assume that was Konamaru, right? because his clan was technically was it the Wolf Clan or Dog Clan? I think it's the Wolf Clan. So Heart of a Wolf is next, so I'm gonna assume that it's him. I really hope he doesn't. Does he die? I don't remember if he dies or not. I just feel some big grim from that. Now, if that's not him, I would assume it would be Kenpachi, right? Kenpachi hasn't shown up yet. Although I don't think this is the fight for him. We do have a moment where Crazy Explosion Horny Girl is upset that Konamaru wasn't there. Like, apparently he was outside of the Seirei. He probably ran all the way back. We know what he was doing, right? He was trying to get the ancient power from the great dog wolf elder. So perhaps he has it now and it's changed his looks, and that's why he had to put the helmet back on. But yes, what would I give this? I would rate this. I give it a 4. Right? I was annoyed about the, oh man, really this old hat again. Kind of annoying, and it's funny because again, I've read this, but I don't. It's like it's a 50-50. Like, I remember some good deals, and then some of it I'm like, oh yeah, that does happen, and that's actually a pleasure. That's actually a really fun thing. Shinji's abilities, Shikai Bankai, the general exposition about why the Quincy are hostile towards the Hollows is very interesting. It would be fun, honestly, it would be fun if we had 3 to 4 of the Espadas that were still alive in Hueco Mundo actually show up to deal with these Quincy's, because now it's making me think, okay, so did Grimshaw bite the dust, right? We saw Halibel get, she got it the worst, and it's, Kubo knew what he was doing because Halibel, the number 2 Espada, fan favorite for various reasons, being a cool black chick character and the costume design for her. If you know, you know. But yes, I really wish we would see like 3 or 4 Ankars, just not Ankars, but Espadas show up and say, all right, with your antithesis, gonna take you down. But the Quincy's are strong. They're strong. They're strong. So we'll see what happens. Let me know what you thought of the episode in the comment section down below. I'm genuinely curious. Are you guys enjoying it? I know I have a few nitpicks here and there, but has not hindered my enjoyment of the series. And I like that these, I don't want to call them side characters, but these non-Ichigo, non-core friend group characters that people have latched onto are showing up and showing out. Just, you blew a guy up point blank with an atomic missile. How is he not gone? But I digress. Please don't forget, hit that like button, subscribe, and hit the notification bell to be notified of more videos just like this. Please enjoy your weekend. Thank you for taking some time out listening to me talk about Bleach. Be good, be blessed, wash those hands. Be safe out there, all right? Be good to yourself, be good to others. Either way it goes, don't be a jerk. Remember that you're not alone out there. Reach out to someone if feeling down, feeling any type of way. There's someone out there that would rather talk to you today than to miss you and mourn you tomorrow. All right? All right. Well, with that, guys, I'll see you next time. It's going to be good. Like, this entire thing, all of season 1 was good. So this is going to be good. Just might be sad good. Bankai.